Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into a really fascinating idea, a method that suggests we can unlock our body's own original blueprint for well-being. What if you could tap into a deeper level of your own potential that's been there all along?
And, we're starting with this quote for a reason. It really gets to the heart of what we're exploring today, a process that people have described as being absolutely, completely life-changing.
So, at the center of it all are two key concepts. First, there's regenetics. That's Re-G-Net-Ix. And then there's an activation process called potentiation. That's potentiation. Think of it as a system for self-healing and really a gift of personal empowerment. Okay, so to really get how this all works, we've got to shift our perspective a little bit. We need to look at our own health in a whole new way. And it all starts with something called our bioenergy blueprint.
So what is this blueprint? Well, think of it like an energetic hologram, a complex pattern of high-frequency fields that's actually the original template for your physical body. It's the master plan, and your body is the beautiful structure built from it.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The core idea here is that any kind of illness doesn't start in the body. It actually shows up first as a distortion or a disharmony in this invisible blueprint, and it can be there for weeks or even months before any physical symptoms ever appear.
So you can see there's a huge difference in approach here. While a lot of Western medicine focuses on targeting physical symptoms, treating the body, the Regenetics focus is all about going to the source. The idea is to heal the blueprint itself and let that harmony ripple outwards into the physical.
Okay, so if the blueprint is the origin of our well-being, the big question is, how do you access it? How do you actually get in there and hit the reset button? Well, the answer this method proposes is incredibly powerful and, honestly, surprisingly simple. It's sound. Now, here's the thing about a lot of other energy techniques. They often work through the nervous system. And according to this theory, the nervous system, as amazing as it is, just can't handle the sheer complexity of the frequencies you'd need to totally reset a damaged blueprint. It's just not built for that job. This is a really cool way to think about it. Light-based energies are often about information. They deal with form. But sound is presented here as the energy of pure transformation. It goes deeper to the very essence of things to create healing. So in this model, sound is the key that unlocks our DNA. And our DNA acts like a master conductor of an orchestra, able to reharmonize the entire bioenergy blueprint all at once. It's not about fixing one note at a time. It's about restoring the entire symphony in a single, powerful reset. And that brings us to what is, for me, maybe the most mind-blowing part of this whole theory. It has to do with a huge chunk of our genetic code that, for the longest time, science has pretty much just dismissed. You've probably heard this, right? That over 90% of our DNA is called junk DNA because it doesn't seem to make proteins. But does that really make sense? I mean, would nature really be that wasteful? Well, the Regenetics method asks us to look at it in a completely different way. What if it's not junk at all? What if it's actually our potential DNA, holding the instructions for an upgraded, healthier bioenergy blueprint, just waiting for the right signal to be activated?
So they give it a name, potential DNA. And what is it? Well, it's described as our energetic interface. It's basically the bridge, the communication link between our physical DNA and that energetic blueprint. It's the control panel where sound can actually go in and initiate this profound change. And this isn't coming out of nowhere. There are some fascinating clues in mainstream science that point in this direction. For example, Nobel laureate Barbara McClintock discovered jumping DNA that can literally rewrite our genetic code. And more recently, scientists are starting to say that ignoring all this junk DNA might just be one of the biggest mistakes in the history of molecular biology. So how does this all come together in the real world? How does it actually work for a person? This is where we get into the process itself, the journey of potentiation. The process is described as being, well, incredibly simple and elegant. It all starts with a single, one-time session that takes about 30 minutes. It uses very specific vowel-based sounds combined with what are called linguistic thought codes. And that's it. That one session is said to kick off a permanent repatterning of your blueprint. And get this, the whole transformation process unfolds over 42 weeks. That's just over 9 months. And that timing is no accident. It's meant to mirror a human gestation cycle, suggesting this is nothing less than a complete energetic rebirth. So what do people actually experience? Well, the reported benefits are all over the map, in the best way possible. For some, it's a huge, dramatic shift. For others, it's a slow, steady upswing. We're talking everything from more energy and better sleep to healthier relationships and even a greater sense of just serendipity, of things flowing beautifully in life. And this final thought really sums it all up. It's not just about one part of your life. The whole idea is that it's a transformation that touches every single level of your being: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual.
So we'll leave you with that one central question, the one this entire theory really poses to each of us. What if all that potential for greater health and happiness is already encoded right inside you, and your blueprint is simply waiting to be reset?